Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando, and on this channel sifunde incwadi ebhalwe ngolimi lwethu lesiZulu bese siza la sokhuluma ngazo le ndaba esuke sifundile sixoxela laba phela abasuke bengenasi isikhathi ukuthi bayifunde incwadi nalaba abasuke benqena nje ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senze ama reviews or ama recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga any other issues avuka uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukele kwe TV. Uma ngabe okokuqala ujoina namhlanje and you really like our content, ungakhohlwa ukuthi upress usubscribe button la ngezansi bese uyaphinda futhi upressa i-notification bell eduze kuka subscribe ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Namhlanje naga I'm going to do something different because I'm going to do a commentary on the issue that a lot of people have spoken about on YouTube, but I just thought, because I've thought about it for a long time, I'm just going to do this video as a fan of the two people that I'm going to talk about today, you guys. As we all know, family yethu yakwa YouTube ukuthi we have one channel that a lot of us really loved so much, and that we have subscribed to that has that has disappeared, and that channel is a channel Thando, the helper. And a lot of us, it took time to know what happened to the channel. I remember that I waited for new videos to come until I went and searched on YouTube and realized that the channel was no longer there. And obviously a lot of us were worried about what has happened to Thando, the helper. Guys, I will admit part of it is just us sithanda izindaba sifuna umgosi ukuthi uphi Thando the helper, but a lot of it is also just the fact that because when we subscribe to the channel, we subscribe to the story Thando the helper and her relationship with her employer, which was NdivhuT, because a lot of us subscribed to the channel because we loved that story, we loved that relationship, and we wanted to see where it was going to go, and we really had hopes Thando at some point she's going to have a channel that was independent of NdivhuT, and we were going to watch this amazing growth in her channel. We had already seen it, you guys, because Thando the helper came after I came on YouTube, but she was like, psh, what's Lula Song? You know, it was amazing, and we all knew the reason that she was growing so much was because of that association with her employer and also her help that she was getting from NdivhuT. So it was amazing to watch, guys. It was amazing to watch NdivhuT help Thando the helper build her channel. But of course there were questions on YouTube about that relationship. There were questions on YouTube. Siyazi sinabantu abasimoderate on YouTube ukuthi masenze izinto, they're going to sit and talk about what we're doing and what we're saying. If it doesn't make sense, they're going to question it. And I mean, honestly, those channels are needed on YouTube, because I mean, if YouTubers are growing, they do reach a status so kuba ama celebrities themselves, so they do get to a point where they need to be talked about, just like we talk about all our celebrities and all our reality stars and all of that. So of course there were questions as the channel was growing. Honestly, you guys, like for me initially when I started watching NdivhuT, I was watching the T World and I was watching her for umgosi, and for the longest time I will see her do sit down videos, but I just never watched for the longest time. And then when I started watching, and she had, I think, one video where she had Thando, the video just kept being suggested and such. You know that video that every time you open your computer and you go on YouTube, the video is there being suggested, that it was like that. So I ended up watching it. I remember watching the story. They were talking about how they met, how Thando came to get employed by NdivhuT, how she came and she wanted to not even say how old she was because she thought Ndivhu was not going to employ her. Ndivhu was talking about how other people had advised her not to employ somebody that was the same age as her, because people have this thing, you go to Mutuzofika and take your husband or whatever, and how their relationship had grown. What had surprised me about the relationship relationship though was that, if I am not mistaken, it was not more than 2 years since they had known each other, but they were already so close that it was almost like they were like sisters. And then because I mean, Ndivu is a businessman, you guys. When the initial video that she did with Thando did so well, she is a very intelligent businesswoman. She decided that she was going to do more videos with Thando the Helper, and at some point she opened a channel for Thando the Helper. Honestly, for me, I don't remember the new channel being announced. Thando was going to open a new channel. I just remember one day clicking on the video that had NdivhuT and Thando the Helper on it, and realizing, and then looking down and realizing that the name had changed to Thando the Helper, and looking at the subscribe button and realizing that I was already subscribed to the channel. And that for me told me this probably was one of NdivhuT's old channels that she had converted to be Thando's channel. So it felt to me that, okay, she wants to maybe introduce Thando the Helper to the idea of YouTube, and maybe at some point she can open her own channel, because I felt if it was one of NdivhuT's channels that she had converted the name to Thando the Helper, then that is NdivhuT's channel, because obviously AdSense would belong to her. Obviously we don't have those details. I don't have. It was just my guess at the time. There was also a video where NdivhuT was on a video giving Thando the Helper imali that they had made on YouTube. I thought it was great. Honestly, you guys, I did not watch that video in detail because I did not want to question it. You know, for me, the relationship between the two of them, it was great that they were helping each other, but I didn't want to put on like my glasses on to really look at it, because I felt like if I watch it and I see how much she's giving her, and I'm going to be sitting there thinking, did she give her enough? Is that half of what they made on the video? I didn't want that. I wanted to take the channel as something that was positive for Thando. If somebody helps you to start a YouTube channel, something that in the future you are going to be able to manage yourself and make more money on it, I was willing to overlook whether the money that she was giving her on that video was enough. You know, was it more? Was it? I didn't want to look at that. I was like, oh great, at least she is sharing the money with her. We don't know what the deal was between the two of them. We don't know if there was any paperwork that was done between the two of them. However, you guys, I did have questions of, I wonder how it works now, because Thando went on to also do videos with them as a family. You know, when the husband is there and the kids are there and they're playing games, she did those videos as well. But I wondered how that works, you guys. Does she still do her housework, and then when they do the videos, she has to do the videos, or do they do the videos on her time off work? How does that work? Or she's just part of the family. When it's time to do the videos, she does the videos. She no longer works for the family. I wondered about that. How does it work? And the reason I wondered about that, guys, because I have had for the longest time helpers, and I've had helpers and I've had nannies, you guys, and I do know that as Black people, we do try and integrate Labantu into our families, because it's our fellow sisters. It's just that we position where they can help you in your home, but I do know how complicated it gets sometimes, guys. I've gone out of my way to make sure that I integrate somebody into my family and I love them like, you know, the person is my sister, but I know that it just always ends in tears. It always ends in tears. The stories that I could tell about maids and nannies are just like endless, to a point where I've decided that even though I will love a person and I will welcome a person, but when it comes to my heart, I'm always going to keep an arm's length relationship with that person, because I know at some point they're going to disappoint me, because I have been disappointed so many times. So for me, it was fascinating to see that relationship. I really honestly wanted to see it work, and I really honestly wanted to see that channel work. And honestly, guys, a lot of us subscribe to Thando's channel. Some of us because we loved NdivhuT, and we are going to subscribe to anything that NdivhuT does. You know, whether good or bad, we're just going to subscribe to the channel to support, to see what she's on to now, you know. But a lot of us also subscribe to that channel because we love the story of the two of them. We wanted to see Thando succeed. We subscribed because of the story. There wasn't any at the time, there wasn't any amazing content on that channel for us to say we subscribe because she had such great content. No, we subscribed to NdivhuT's Helpers channel. That's how we knew Thando, and that's how we fell in love with her, guys. But we cannot get away from the fact that in a lot of these videos that she did, whether it was with Ndivhu alone, whether it was with the family, there were uncomfortable moments with Thando, because obviously she was not a YouTuber, and I don't think that she ever intended that to become a YouTuber. And a lot of the times she spent time on these videos just laughing, but her laughter, it almost felt like she was uncomfortable. She wanted to do it because obviously NdivhuT thought she could do it, but she was uncomfortable in a lot of these videos. And when you go and watch some of them now with a different lens, because at the time we just loved that story so much, and we wanted that story to work, and we wanted that channel to do so well, so our lenses were different at the time when we were watching the channel. But now when I go and watch some of the videos that are still there that have her in them, that like the way that she is, she looks uncomfortable in these videos, it makes you cringe, you guys. It does. I don't want to admit it, but it does. But I also do feel like it's because she had never planned to be a YouTuber. She was thrown into a space that she didn't plan for, and she is also seeing the opportunity here that maybe one day she can get to make this money that people are making on YouTube too, so maybe she can use that opportunity. But I do not feel like it's something that she initially wanted to do. There is a video that they did too that I never watched, guys, but the thumbnail of the video is NdivhuT holding a dildo, and I don't know if she's giving it to Thando or she is holding and showing it to Thando. The thumbnail itself just feels uncomfortable for me. It was uncomfortable that I just felt like I don't want to see Thando react to it. It felt uncomfortable to me. But if you look at that video, it has a lot of views, you guys, and it is still on YouTube right now. People are still viewing that video. It's one of the things that were making me uncomfortable, but I was willing to overlook them and be like, after all, Thando is an adult, so if she's not comfortable maybe with these videos being published, she can say that she's not comfortable, but also maybe she's also willing to let go of the discomfort so that she can learn, and maybe one day she can run her own channel. There is also a video that they did. There was like 4 women wearing pink t-shirts, written the T world. They were having a talk. It was like a panel talk, you guys, and the topics that they were discussing were about how Madam treats maids and how maids treat Madam, that relationship between the employer and the employee when it comes to helpers. But you guys, the thing about that panel was that Thando was the only one that was the maid in that panel, so it felt imbalanced. In fact, I watched that video yesterday. It felt imbalanced, and all of the things that the other ladies were saying about how they maids behave and the things that they do and all of that, it almost felt like they were talking at Thando. It is one of the most uncomfortable videos to watch, you guys. And of course, Thando, Ndivhu, their base is really, they're always talking about the fact that their relationship works. They treat each other as sisters, but there are moments where you feel like Ndivhu will be saying things that she sort of is indirectly directing it to Thando, like when they were talking about Neni taking my husband's Madam and all of that. There is a point where I felt like Ndivhu was talking about that, but she wanted Thando to know that wouldn't be okay for you to do that with my husband. But she's talking as if she believes that Thando will never do that. It made me uncomfortable, you guys. I would just not have that conversation with a person that works for me, because I would know that will make them uncomfortable. Because if something like that happens, obviously it would be your husband's fault, it would be the nanny's fault. It just felt like it like now when I watch those videos, you guys, it does make me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But I will say that some of it is because, of course, Thando was not a YouTuber. Of course, she had no intentions probably to be a YouTuber, but she was willing to try it, because who's not gonna try something that that might potentially make them some money at some point. So now, guys, the channel is not there anymore. The channel has disappeared, and for the longest time we waited to get the explanation, because, guys, I think as the viewers we did deserve the explanation, because that is one channel we subscribed to, not because of good content, you know. And there were good stuff afterwards, after we had subscribed, because there was a vlog where Thando was going to Zimbabwe, and there was good content. She documented her packing, what she was going to take home. She got home, they were baking bread, ekaya, we saw the family and all of that. There was really good content, but that was not the reason we subscribed. We had already subscribed. We subscribed because of the story, and we subscribed because we wanted to see a happily ever after between Ndivhu and Thando, but more especially we wanted to see the happily ever after Thando. So now the channel has disappeared, and we're not getting the explanation as to what happened. And I thought that maybe people really didn't care, or maybe people they did care, but they are willing to accept that the explanation we're never gonna get, you know, from NdivhuT. But it seemed like other people had questions as well, because now and then when we watch NdivhuT's channel, you will get people in the comment section, especially when she does things with her husband or she's in the house. Especially recently when she posted a vlog where she is in the house, and you can see clearly that Thando is not there. Because at some point I did think maybe Thando just opted to not do the videos, but she's still working for the family. Then people started asking question, where is Thando? And I think Ndivhu maybe felt like she needed to answer that question, and she in the comments she answers and said Thando is no longer with the family, which I assume it's either she fired Thando or Thando quit, got another job, whatever it is that happened. And then she did a video where she says finally she's addressing Ilokuzana. Sorry. The elephant in the room. And we certainly watched the video, and she says exactly the same thing that she said in the comment section, which is Thando is no longer with them. The last time she saw her, Thando was okay, but it sounded like she doesn't really know where Thando is right now, but their relationship has been terminated. Of course, she doesn't give us the details of why the relationship has been terminated. And then another video came where she actually was doing the T-World story. I laughed so much, you guys, when she did that too. I don't know if she meant it as a joke, honestly, or she really just thought this video is going to make me a lot of money, because a lot of people are wondering about Thando. And then she did a story about herself. She was her own umgosi. She was her own umgosi. Hey, you guys, I wonder on YouTube. So we were like, huh? And then where is the story? Listen, you guys, listen. Of course, NdivhuT might have a right, might feel like she has a right to share as little as possible when it comes to that story. But I feel like as a viewer, because she sold us that story, we deserve to know the end. Besides the fact that so sifunum gossip, but I feel like we deserve to know the story that ended that relationship. I think that even if they just sat down, her and Thando, and did like a 10-minute video and explaining what happened, and just as closure for us, it's like we were in a relationship that just suddenly, like, you are in a relationship with somebody, and then one day you wake up, you go to their place, and you are told that they moved to Joburg. And you're trying to call them, and their number has been terminated, and nobody knows what happened, and you never get closure. That's how it feels like. I think we are not crazy as viewers to say that we would like to know what happened to Thando, besides the fact that we just would like to know that Thando is okay. But we also want to know what happened to that relationship between the two of them, because that is the story that was sold to us as the viewers. That is the story that made us subscribe to the channel. It felt like if they're not going to give us that, it felt like, okay, in the future, are we supposed to really believe these stories when they come? The stories that pull at our heartstrings, because you are subscribing to the channel because you love the story, and you fall in love with this YouTuber that is being helped, and then the next thing, the YouTuber is not there and nobody explains what happened to them. I really hope, you guys, that Thando, wherever she is, that she is well. I still think that because a lot of us are curious about what happened to her, I still think think that even if she had to start a new channel on her own, her channel would do really well. She will reach 1,000 subscribers very quick, only because a lot of people are just curious about what happened between her and Ndivhu. But watching the videos that she did with Ndivhu and on YouTube, she was it does feel like she was uncomfortable, so it's unlikely that we're going to get that. But I hope Thando, the helper, is okay wherever she is, and I hope one day Ndivhu just understands that as much as yes, Thando is in Daba, but part of it is because we really fell in love with that story and we wanted to see a happy ending. And when it didn't happen, some of us viewers feel like we did deserve an explanation as to what happened between the two of them. I hope on this video I was able, you guys, to just express what my views are on this issue, and that it's clear and that it doesn't offend anybody, because you know how YouTube is like. You know how the streets guy YouTube Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before and share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. And Thando kakhulu.